favorite part about coming to Grandma and Pop-Pop's house?
Eating cucumbers and sliders.
Eating cucumbers and sliders? Yeah.
Oh, and watching my phone.
Oh, and watching your phone. And what else?
That's pretty much it.
What did we watch this morning?
Oh, Big Brother.
Okay, let's go over here and see what Pop-Pop's making. There they are, the favorite sliders. Pop-Pop did a little bit of a job on the toast.
Those are okay?
Yeah.
Let's look at these sliders. Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
No, not yet. No, that's ready.
I'm going to put them there.
What's the matter?
What was I get?
Ketchup?
This?
Audie's potato salad from the German butcher.
Annie's organic ketchup.
Here's the ketchup.
Kenny's is untoasted, right?
Oh, you don't want yours to, you just want one?
No, I got two that are not.
Two? So what's your favorite thing about coming to Grandma's?
Eating sliders.
Eating sliders? Okay, then I guess it's a good thing we're having them.
Is that it?
Oh, there's Kenny's sliders. All right,
Where'd the ketchup go?
here's the ketchup.
Over there.
Annie's ketchup. Here's the potato salad. Here's the ketchup.
Can I have that last cucumber?
You want the last cucumber? Okay.
Yeah, it's on the counter. It's the last one on the counter. Not
All right,
yet.
we're gonna pause this for a minute. Let's see. Are they good? Let me see you eat yours. Mmm.
I can probably count the number of sliders I've made
A lot.
for these two.
Yeah.
Because we usually have 4 sliders each every time they're here. That's 2 times 4 is 8 times 5 years, 6 years, 5 years, 40. And 40, not counting other vacations during the summer, 40 plus 40 more. It's 80 plus sliders. Who's eating them all?
Me.
Okay.
All right. What are we doing after this?
Going to Barnes and Noble.
Okay. Say see you later.
See you later, whoever you are.
All right.
Okay.
Are we ready?
Yeah, I think we're ready. We
Okay.
ready, right.
Ready.
We ready. We ready.
Okay. So, hello everybody. Today is November 24th, Friday, and it's the day after Thanksgiving, 2017. And this is episode 18 of Joey's Scarf.
18?
Can you believe
Oh
it?
my gosh.
So I decided to have a guest host today for part of the segment, for part of the podcast. This is Ross. He lives with me.
Oh. Hi, yeah, I guess you're the woman that lives with me.
All right, so you need to speak up because we're not mic'd right now.
Is this loud enough?
That's loud enough.
Okay.
All right. So you wanted to join me today.
I had no idea.
So I thought that. What did I think?
I have no idea.
You mentioned an interest in doing the podcast with me because
Yes.
Because you were jealous that I had all the attention. Is that true? No, that's not true.
Oh, yeah, of course it is. Of course, yes, yes.
But you have some stuff to say.
Well, I've picked up all of my prescriptions.
Not
and,
that list.
Oh,
So we had an interesting day yesterday, Thanksgiving.
well, it didn't start out that way.
Well, first of all, let me do a little bit more introductions,
Oh,
okay?
okay.
So this is a knitting, crocheting, yarn podcast. And if you're joining for the first time, welcome. And if you are coming back, I am so appreciative that you decided to come back. I talk about my finished objects, works in progress, and today is a beautiful, beautiful day today. Blue skies, temperatures are, I don't know, maybe in the 50s. It's going to be maybe around 50. And we're coming to you from Barnegat, New Jersey, which is the Jersey Shore off of Long Beach Island. And so Russ is my knitting companion. Even though he doesn't knit, he travels with me to all over.
I should probably learn.
Yeah, well, I'm going to try and teach him.
I
Maybe
know
the
you
next
are.
segment, you'll have your knitting needles. What do you think?
Oh, okay, we'll see.
Okay. So I wanted to talk about yesterday, which was Thanksgiving, and it was just you and I yesterday.
Yeah. As we decided.
Yes, that was not intentional, but that's the way things worked out.
Well, we
Because
we
the
make our
kids-
decisions.
Yeah, the kids have other places that they want to be, and they can't be in every place at once.
They can't build their own tradition otherwise.
Right. So we are having our Thanksgiving on Saturday, and our Thanksgiving is going to be lasagna. And actually, I have a little segment where I'm making the meatballs, and at some point, either at the beginning of this or at the end of this, I might put that in there. But yesterday we had an interesting experience. You want to talk about that?
Well, it kind of goes in with, well, what do you do for Thanksgiving? Well, you can sit at home, you can eat dinner with turkey and with all the family and everything, but we've made a conscious choice not to do any of that. And so we wound up just lolling around and then deciding, you know, it's a pretty nice day out. Let's go for a ride and find a diner, a Jersey diner, where we could have Thanksgiving dinner. Mm-hmm. Well, of course, we didn't go to diner territory. We went to Long Beach Island. And that's always great. We always go up there for some reason. And then we go to the beach and hang out for a few minutes there just to get sand in our shoes and bitch and moan about getting that out. Oh, that's me. But anyhow, we decided to go on Long Beach Island. And, well, do you want to go to the south end? Or do you want to go to the north end? And do you want to drive fast or slow? So we went up to the north end thinking that two of a couple of favorite restaurants are open. And we got there, before we got there, we're driving north and around 25th or 6th Street in Surf City, is it? We figured, well, we'll go up and see if, who is it? Skojo's is open. It's a popular eating place. They're a great bang for the buck. Good food, good service. Well, we drove past Skojo's and they were closed. Well, okay. Well, let's see. Well, let's keep going. Do you think, what's that place? The Sandcastle?
Sandbox.
Sandbox. Oh, that's it. So go see if the Sandbox is open. The Sandbox has two locations. We go to each of them. Their food is just a little different normally. There's a little vegetarian thing here and a normal thing there and eggs here and pastries there, but I'm here and there and everywhere.
What are you talking?
Well, anyhow, just up the street from Skojo's is one of the sandbox, the enclosed sandbox. And what's her name?
Dana.
Dana was outside.
Dana is one of the owners.
Yes. Dana is outside twirling a 7-foot sign that says, I don't know which way I'm doing this, Thanksgiving free dinner.
Yeah, and I have a
Free
picture
Thanksgiving
of that.
dinner.
So I'll put that in there.
And Linda looked at me and said, "You've got to be kidding. They can't do that. Do you think it's true?" And I looked at her and said, "There's the owners twirling a sign telling us, come on in, dinner's free."
Well, we didn't decide. We kind of rode by because we thought, is it a charitable thing, or is she feeding people who can't afford to go for can't afford Thanksgiving? So we weren't quite sure. So we passed her by and we went up to the lighthouse, which is the Barnegat Lighthouse. We figured we'd walk around on the grounds of the lighthouse, but the park was closed.
Park was closed, yeah.
So,
And there are a couple of restaurants up there that are always generally Johnny on the spot with a decent meal and a interesting group, if not colorful. What was that? I thought you were getting fresh with me. Anyhow, where were we? Oh, so number of restaurants. There are a couple that are pretty good, but everything was closed, including the little candy store, grocery shop that usually is open during the winter and closed off season. So anyhow, everything's closed. We don't know what to do, so we drive back and say, "Do you really want to see what's going on at
the
sandbox, or do you want to just head out further south?" As we got to the sandbox, we were discussing this more and more, and finally, about 10 minutes later, we're driving past, and there's Dana again, spinning this sign, free Thanksgiving dinner. And as we're passing, we decide we're going to go. So
we're going to go find out what it's all about.
that's right. Instead of jamming on the brakes and squealing to a halt, which I was about to do, we actually made the decision while we were turning the car around. Yes, we'll give it a shot. Mm-hmm. So we parked the car, and there is Dana jumping up and down. Woo, woo, woo. I can't do it. My voice isn't high enough. But jumping up and down, thank you for coming, thank you. And
she was so appreciative that we were, because she knows us. We eat there occasionally, and she gave him a big hug and, "Oh, I'm so happy that you came. My customers are, And then she gave me a big hug and, come on, come in and eat.
And we did.
It was amazing.
It was soup to nuts Thanksgiving dinner, salad, main course, stuffing, mashed potatoes, candied yams.
And I'll put a picture of the tray.
Candied carrots. Really very, very good.
It was delicious.
There was a string bean dish that I think had fried. I think those were the
Wasn't
onions.
too crazy about that one.
I like that. That was really tasty. But it was everything, including apple pie or pumpkin pie.
So what they did was, she is obviously a very, very friendly owner of the restaurant. It's her and her husband, Vinny. And she's just a bundle of energy, Dana. So the menu was on a chalkboard when you walked in, and she had a bunch of volunteers helping to serve the meals, and they were probably her family, people who work in the restaurant, during the year, and they seat you, and one of the volunteers comes over and says, can I get you something to drink? And so they had little children of the volunteers serving the food, which was so cute. So the first course was salad, and the two little girls come with their little salad plates and
Do you think
serve
they were
salad.
older than 5?
They were probably about 5 or 6.
About 5
they were
or 6.
adorable. The place was bustling.
And no matter whether they were offering to drive to here or we were here.
The legal limit was on the board, was on the window as you walk in. And they were, I'm sure they were close to it.
No, well, they had the number of tables that they usually have.
Yeah.
They weren't serving anymore.
They didn't serve, they couldn't.
But there were families of 10 or 12, or there were just couples like us. And the main course came out on a cafeteria-style tray, like a plastic tray. Was it plastic?
It was a plastic
tray.
dish.
Just chock full of food, but the stuffing and the turkey and the gravy, and it was
Cornbread.
Yeah, they served rolls and cornbread, and it was all homemade.
Yeah.
It was fresh everything, mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes, everything was homemade, and
Candied carrots.
It was delicious.
It was very good.
And they gave you just enough to, portions were.
If you
it was
ate any
really
more,
good.
you were really a glutton.
So I was just so.
Touched.
I was touched by it because I was feeling a little bit down because
Yeah.
we were it was just the two of us, and we weren't going to be seeing the kids, and we're used to big
Blowouts.
deals, with the family all around, and the past couple of years it's hasn't been that way. So this was just such a pick-me-up, and we asked Dana when she came around to see how we were doing, what, if we could contribute to her favorite charity, or,
Anything.
what they were doing. And what they were doing was, when you left, they had jars, like mason jars. And, you would put in whatever you wanted to contribute, and they were going to be contributing that money to the St. Francis. There's a church on the island, St. Francis.
Food shelter.
And they were going to be contributing to the food bank
Food bank.
there. And we found out that evening, on their Facebook page, that they raised $1,000, and there were 150 people partaking in this dinner, and it was served from 1 to 5, and this was the second annual one. And Dana told us that last year, I think they had, 15 or
people.
50 people? Maybe?
15.
15 people. So she wants to make it an annual thing.
It was one of those things that's kind of interesting. While you're sitting there, you're looking at the people, you're looking to see who's here. Who's
Why are they here?
why is everybody here for a free meal?
Right.
And it was kind of do you believe this? No, do you believe that? That's why we were there, and it was kind of interesting.
No, we weren't there for a free meal.
No, we weren't.
We
It was interesting. Why?
Yeah, we were
what's going
curious
on?
about it, and that's why we really went up to Dana when she was out there with that sign trying to coax people to come in. We wanted to see what it was about, and she immediately embraced us and said, come on, come in. It's open to everyone, and we want to express our gratitude to our customers, and this is our way of doing it. So it was just wonderful.
It was really nice.
It was really just
It was-
perfect.
It was
For us.
like a movie type experience.
Fortuitous,
Fortuitous.
maybe.
It was very nice. It pulled us out of the whatever doldrums we were in, because it's every family has its story
Yeah.
around Christmas time. But it was just a wonderful experience. And I hope people who went there realize how unusual it was, but how not
Special.
special.
It was
It was special
Very special.
without being special.
Yeah. It was like being with a big family, actually.
I expected Jimmy Stewart to walk in any minute.
Okay. So that was our experience
Yeah.
yesterday. And
This list really doesn't mean anything, this list down here.
what they can't see this. They can't see what you're pointing at.
That's, no,
Oh,
you
that you
can't
don't
let them
want-
read it. so.
Oh.
You don't want them to know what we're buying. Pneumonia shots.
So, you have anything
Okay.
else that you want to talk about?
No, because I know you want to get on with your knitting and fritzing.
Yeah.
Fritzing with all your stuff and gear here. So I'll take my list and make haste.
Okay, so we'll see you later. You could maybe.
Thanks a lot for the.
I don't know. Rico is kind of.
he's
I don't
just
know what
picking.
What
He's
he's
picking
doing
at his
over there.
food.
He's moaning and groaning.
Yeah, that's okay. He's eating.
Well, thank you for visiting.
Well, thank you for
if
inviting
we
me.
get a good response to you, I might invite you back.
You'll teach me how to turn the camera on.
Right.
Okay, thanks again. It was my
Okay,
pleasure.
See you later.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that little Ross segment. I think he had fun doing it. Okay, on to some knitting. First thing I'm going to do is show you some finished objects. And the first one I'm going to show you is a little cable, simple cable scarf that I made. And the name of the pattern is Cable Scarf, I guess is the name of the pattern. And it's a free download on Ravelery. And I'm not going to try and pronounce this name, but that's who it's by. And you can find all the information about this and the pattern link and everything on my Ravelery project page. I have a Ravelery project page. This was a nice little, simple little knit, and it went pretty quick. And I like the way it turned out. Okay, the yarn that I used for this was a Caron cake, and it is I don't know what the color is. Let's see. White truffle is the color. And it's all the different colors in here. And this yarn is 80% acrylic and 20% wool. It's very, very soft. It feels really nice. So as you can see, it has all of these different colors. And I thought it was a nice neutral scarf I can wear with just about anything. I did soak this, and I tried to block it so that it would open up and not curl on the ends, but it still curls somewhat, which is okay. But I like to wear my scarves like so. And this came out really nice. Feels nice and warm. So that's my first finished object. And I'd probably make this again. It would probably be a nice gift. It's quick knit. So that's my first finished object, as I've said 3 times. If you're interested, what I'm wearing is, this is the scarf that I made for the Joey Scarf knit-along that I did when I first started podcasting. I'm going to stop this so I can take this mic off. Okay. So this scarf I made quite a while ago, but I think it's on my project page, so if you want to check it out. It's a basket weave pattern, and again, if you want to check it out, it's on my project page. Okay. All right, the next finished object I have, which I really, really love this. It's a hat by Wendy from the Baa Baa YaYa Podcast, and I just simply love this hat. Now, she may be running a special on this, I'm not sure. But it's reversible and it's double layer, and I just think the design is just very clever. And I had fun making it, and part of the reason I enjoyed it so much was because I had no idea what this was going to wind up being. I just followed the directions step by step, and until I pulled my last thread through, I didn't understand how it was going to become a hat. But here it is, and reversible, and this is a warm, warm hat. And it's actually a long tube, and then you just tuck one end in, side the other, and there's your hat. And if you like the other side, just turn it inside out. I just love this. Let's put it on. Isn't it cute? I like it with the brim up. I just think it's so cute and very, very warm. The other side. Cute. Yeah, so I'm so happy that Wendy released this because I really like it. And, I'll put a link to the pattern in the description box below. And you can also find this on my project page. So the yarn that I used, sort of like the solid color, is Encore. And it's by Plymouth Yarn. And it's color 7658. But it's all shades of like taupe. And this is 75% acrylic, 25% wool. I was didn't know how this would come out because the other color is a real woolly wool. It's 100% wool, and it's a bit thicker than this. And I was concerned that because you had to put one inside the other, that it might bunch up or not work, but it worked perfectly. So this yarn is by Crystal Skies, hand dyed. And I don't think this is merino. I think it's wool, just plain, 100% wool. And this colorway is called Love on the Rocks. And that's this. Really pretty. And it feels, once I blocked it, it just softened up, and it just feels really, really nice. It's going to be my favorite hat, I think, if it gets really, really cold. And I would definitely make a couple more of these for gifts or whatever. And actually, it goes rather nicely with my scarf, with the colors. So, thank you again, Wendy. I really enjoyed making this. So that's my second finished object. Oh, I forgot to tell you, the name of this pattern is called Totally Tubular, in case you're looking for it. Okay, for my final finished object, another favorite finished object. And it is by Helen Stewart, who is a favorite of mine also. She's running a knit-along called Knit Vent, and I think there are 6 patterns that she's going to be releasing. She started a week ago maybe, and the first pattern that was released with the Knit Vent knit-along was this cowl, and it's called the Land of Sweets cowl. And this is the knit vent revolves all around the Nutcracker ballet. So that was what I made. And once I started knitting this, I was obsessed. And I think I knit it in 4 days. I couldn't put it down. So here it is. And I think it's beautiful. And I think the idea of this was, there are 24 colors. No, I'm sorry. Yes, 24 colors? 24 colors. So I guess it's supposed to be like an Advent kind of thing. And I guess if you did it starting on December 1st, if you did a color a day, by the Christmas you would have the cowl done. I did not do the 24 colors. I just didn't have them to put together, the minis, and I just decided to wing it and kind of do my own thing. But I just love the way it came out. So this was my bag of yarns that I used. So all different scraps and yarn that I had. One of them, the yarn that I started with, is Eva Little Goat by Eva Little Goat. And that's this color. And I just love the yellows and the grays and the blacks in this. And this color it's her Squishy Goat base. It's 100% superwash merino, 4-ply fingering weight, 438 yards. And the name of this color is Brother in Arms. So that is the ends here. And then I added it in again in the middle, and then at the end again. It's really pretty, and I have plenty of yarn left to, if I want to do another shawl or something, plenty of that left. Then the other skein, one of the other skeins I used for the pink part here is by Tchaikovsky Hat Designs. And this color is called Space Unicorn. and that's this. And that would have, that's these two stripes here. The grays, the yellows, the solid yellows and grays and blacks came from a gradient set that I purchased from Myra at Wool Bearers Yarn Shop in Mount Holly, New Jersey. And so I was able to use those colors throughout. And I think it really came out nice. And then the rest are just some scraps that I had around. This was a scrap. I don't remember which one this was, but that's my Land of Sweets cowl. And I'm going to put it on, but I'm going to stop so I can take the mic off. Hang on. This is it's a lot of knitting, but I couldn't stop knitting it. There are sections of different patterns, some straight stockinette, but then there's some lace, and then you're continually changing colors. It was just such a fun knit. One of the things that I did when I got to the lace section was I put stitch markers to mark off each pattern repeat, and that was really very helpful. And I was able actually to leave the stitch markers on because the pattern repeats, even though they are different in the sections, she has them spaced so that the number of stitches in each pattern repeat are the same. So it worked out really well, and it made it a lot easier to do. So this is my Land of Sweets cowl, and another favorite. I think, let's see, I believe there were 194 rows, 192 rows by the time you finished. So that's a lot of knitting, but fun knitting. And I don't know if I would make one right away, but eventually I probably will make another one because it drapes really nice. I like the way it hugs my neck, and it's just so colorful and quite beautiful, and I love it. So that's my final finished object. So I'm going to show you some whips now. Okay, I think I have only three works in progress. I have to show you the progress I've made on Derek's blanket because I must show you this. The thing is huge, and I'm not as diligent as I should be working on it, but I am getting there. I'll have to stand up and show you. Take this off. This is the Garter Squish blanket by Stephen West. It's an oldie but goodie pattern. And it is heavy and big. And I probably have maybe about 3 more of these stripes to go before I'm done. But I'm getting there. And I am working on it little by little. I force myself to, which is terrible. But I think I've mentioned this before because I'm doing this with holding 2 strands of yarn together, and it's worsted weight yarn, and pretty large size needles. It's really hard on my hands to do this, so I think that's part of the reason why I'm not as enthusiastic about it, especially now that every time I get to a row I have to go like that to get to the end of the row. What am I using for this? I love this yarn by Hobby Lobby. in all the different colors. And it's very nice yarn. It's 100% acrylic, which is good. And yeah, that's my blanket, or actually Derek's blanket so far. I just want to get this back so that I don't lose stitches. But this is a really easy pattern too. It's just garter stitch, and makes a nice gift also. That's my ongoing work in progress. Let me talk a little bit before I go on to my next work in progress. Just wanted to talk a little bit about the Christmas stocking knit along, Christmas stocking swap that we were doing in our Ravelery group for the podcast, which is Joey's Scarf. That's the name of the group. We had 4 of us participated, and I'm going to be contacting the 3 people who participated along with me to see if they still want to do a swap, and maybe it'll be like a round robin kind of thing. So the knit along is closed, and I had fun making the stocking, and the other 3 participants, Jan from Jan's Crafty Crochet, Jan, and Victoria from Podcast Victoria Knits, and Sarah from the podcast Salt Box Knits, and myself. Those were the 4 of us who participated, and I had a lot of fun making the stocking, and the other 3 people who participated really made some cute contributions to this knit along. So that's the knit along for Joey's scarf. The other thing I might as well tell you too is that after the holidays, somewhere in the beginning of the new year, I'm going to be doing a collaboration with Wendy from the Baa Baa YaYa podcast, and from Victoria Knits, and the 3 of us are going to put together a knit along, and it should be fun, and details to follow, so look out for that. So let me get going and show you my next work in progress. So this is a little shawl that I'm making, and I found the pattern on the back of the Caron Cakes yarn, and that's a picture of it. And it's called it's on the back of the label, but you can also find it if you go to Yarnspirations website, and it's yarnspirations.com, and you could probably find the pattern there too. What's the name of this? This is called Step It Up Knit Shawl. That's the name of it. So this is what it looks like. And it's another fun pattern, very, very, very simple. Easy to memorize. Just have to keep track of your rows though, because so that these scallops will come out even. I think you do 10 rows and then you bind off, and that's what's making the scallops. And then you increase every other row, I think. But this yarn that I'm using is Lion Brand, and it's Heartland. And it's 100% acrylic. I'm trying to find the color for this. This is color number 148, and it's called Badlands. You probably can't see this. but I just love this color. It's so pretty. And this is another very soft, I mean, it's acrylic, but it's very, very soft and squishy. And I would definitely, again, make this as a gift. It's fast knit. And I have, I bought 2 other colors in this yarn. And I'm probably going to make a couple of more of these for Christmas gifts, probably. If I get, I hope I can get to do that. Because these really are the only 2, the blanket and this are the only 2 real works in progress I have. I do have a pair of socks on the needles, which I haven't done very much on, but they're supposed to be my November socks, and I have not gotten very far at all. That's pitiful. But I like the yarn. The yarn is, not sure. I'll have to put it down below or across the screen. I don't remember what the yarn is. I think it's Happy Feet. I'll check and make sure. But that's it for my works in progress. So let me show you what I'm dying to cast on, and I'm trying to be good and not do it until I finish this and Derek's blanket, but it's hard for me not to, so here I go. Hold on. Okay, this is what I am going to be doing next, and I can't wait to do this. So this is, again, part of the knit vent that Helen Stewart is doing. And this is called the Tchaikovsky Hat. And look at how pretty those colors are. And it's got a little texture in the hat. And I cannot wait to cast this on. This is done in DK weight. She's got all different sizes also in the pattern. So I'm really trying hard not to cast this on, because I know once I get started I'm not going to want to put it down. But I did choose my yarn. And this is not the same yarn that she used for hers, but this is by Legacy Fiber Arts, and this is called the Mayor. Don't know the reference, but this is a DK weight, and I just think it's beautiful. And I got this when Sue and came back from Rhinebeck, Sue and Chelsea. Sue had some yarn left from Rhinebeck that she put in her shop, and this was one of the, and I had to grab this because I thought it was so pretty, and it would be perfect for this hat. So that's what I want to do next. And Tchaikovsky is the composer who wrote, one of the things he wrote was the Nutcracker ballet. Okay, so if you are familiar with my podcast, if you've watched me before, you know that the meaning behind the name of my podcast, which is Joey's Scarf. I have my son Joe was diagnosed with colon cancer about 7 years ago, and he passed away from colon cancer December 5th in 2011. And my podcast, Joey's Scarf, is in honor of Joe. It's a way for me to remember him and say his name. Yeah, just to say his name. I also have a blog called Linda Grace An Hour Away, and writing was very helpful for me, along with knitting, to get through some of the hard times and to deal with my grief. And both things have helped me a lot. So sometimes I like to read a piece from my blog, and I like I said, I've written about all different kinds of things, and one of the things I like to write about is knitting, because it's very important to me. And this time of year, we all are knitting for other people, and when I knit for someone, I am usually thinking about that person. And so I wrote a little piece called When I Knit for You, and I'd like to read it to you, if you don't mind. When I knit for you. When I knit for you, I meander the aisles, caressing and squeezing each and every bundle. I carefully select the perfect one and press it lightly against my cheek, ensuring that it will be soft enough for yours. I see all of your colors, from the scarlet of passion and the periwinkle of abandonment to the ocean of calm and the fog of sadness. I explore the knidosphere, seeking lace and cables, stockinette and ribs. I untangle and wind, then plot and chart and track and count. I settle in and settle down in my easiest of chairs, my legs tucked up and under. I cast out old worries, hypnotized by the rhythm of the clicking sticks. I drop one and miss two. I curse and snarl, tink and rip out before I stubbornly begin all over again. I fondly remember our time. I think of you when you were young and when you are now, and hope for your tomorrows. I wonder if you will remember me. I soak my pride, I fuss and straighten, pinning my hopes of perfection. I unabashedly stand back and admire my craftiness. When I knit for you, fluffy thoughts of your being feather the nest of my daydreams. I imagine you smiling, wrapped in loving warmth. So that's pretty much how I feel when I knit for you. That's it for today. I hope everyone had a nice Thanksgiving. We're having our Thanksgiving tomorrow. And I hope that the coming weeks will be good for you. And I hope to see you soon. Take care now. Bye-bye. Where are we?
I think we're on Long Beach Island.
What day is it?
Happy Thanksgiving.